watch closely and you'll see SpongeBob is playing the most twisted game of psychological torture ever put in a kid's cartoon. But in SpongeBob Meets the Strangler, it's SpongeBob who becomes the one quietly doing the crushing. On the surface, it looks like a simple episode where SpongeBob accidentally hires a serial killer as his bodyguard. But dig deeper and you'll find one of the most twisted examples of mind games in cartoon history. This is the Tattletale Strangler, a guy who literally murders people for snitching on him. He hires the guy as his bodyguard. Now, here's where it gets really messed up. The show wants you to think SpongeBob is too dumb to realize his bodyguard is actually the Strangler in a fake mustache. But watch closely and you'll see SpongeBob is playing the most twisted game of psychological torture ever put in a kid's cartoon. The poor criminal just wants to get somewhere private so he can do his murdering, but SpongeBob keeps him trapped in public spaces with witnesses everywhere. Then comes the house key situation, and this is where things get really dark. But the second they need to get inside, SpongeBob casually mentions the spare key under the mat. He knew it was there the whole time. He was torturing this guy on purpose. When the Strangler suggests climbing through the window, SpongeBob puts on spiky cleats and literally steps on the man's eyeballs. 6 hours of metal spikes grinding into someone's corneas while SpongeBob pretends it's an accident. That's not clumsiness, that's sadistic. SpongeBob somehow managed to invite everyone in town to multiple surprise parties at his house. He planned this whole thing knowing the Strangler would be trapped there with dozens of witnesses, unable to do anything but sit in a chair and watch his victims celebrate. Every time the Strangler thinks he finally has SpongeBob alone, another crowd shows up. The guy's mental state is completely falling apart while SpongeBob acts like everything is perfectly normal. He turned a dangerous killer into a crying mess who voluntarily throws himself in jail just to get away from him. He takes a serial killer and breaks him mentally using nothing but fake cheerfulness and perfectly timed annoyances. The Strangler is supposed to be the monster in this story, but SpongeBob turns him into a victim through pure psychological warfare. He never gets violent, never loses his temper, never drops his innocent act. He just smiles and slowly drives a grown man insane. This episode shows us that SpongeBob's greatest weapon, his ability to make people underestimate him while he completely destroys their minds. The scariest part? He does it all while maintaining his reputation as the nicest guy in Bikini Bottom. The real horror of SpongeBob Meets the Strangler is that SpongeBob was the killer all along, the kind that uses weapons.